Good evening. My name's Anne Holiday. I am the Executive Director for the Art in the Loop Foundation. With me this evening, Nisha Edwards, who's the Visual Art Director, and Jade Osborne, our Performing Arts Director. And we are going to this evening walk through tell you a little bit about Art in the Loop and then kind of walk through the call for both visual and performing artists. And then we'll have time for questions. So um, I think what I would love to do first would be to go around the Zoom room and just you introduce yourself. And really, we're trying to get a feel for how many people in the room this evening are visual artists versus performing artists, just as we talk about the two different calls. So I think everybody's usually in a different location. So I will just call on you by whatever is written in your as your name. So, Zandra, would you like to go first?
Sure. Hi, I'm Zandra. I'm a Topeka, Kansas artist, and I'm a visual artist.
Great, thank you. And Aaron,
Hi, my name's Aaron. I'm a graphic designer and illustrator.
thank you. And Ben, Ben is muted. Oh, there he is.
Hi, sorry, looking for the button. My name's Ben. I'm based in Kansas City here. I'm a visual artist, illustrator, photographer, painter, a whole handful of things. So glad to be here.
Awesome. Thank you. And Maggie,
Hi, I'm Maggie Newland. I'm a visual artist and muralist.
Maggie is also a past Art in the Loop artist, and her artwork, I believe, is still up at the Crossroads stop. So good to see you, Maggie. Liliana.
Hi, I'm Liliana. I'm also a visual artist.
Thank you. Alanis.
Hi, I'm Alanis. I am mainly a painter. I'm also in Overland Park, Kansas.
Oh, thank you. Ashlyn.
Hi, I'm Ashlyn. I am a Kansas City singer-songwriter producer.
Great. Thanks for joining us. Taylor.
Hi, Taylor, Kansas City-based artist. I am a visual artist and also a performance artist, and so excited.
Awesome. Great. And then RVF. Hope you're muted too. Sorry.
Just had to find it. I'm Roberta Bonfang, and I am a singer and a performance artist.
Awesome. All right. Well, a nice mix of folks. And I, again, appreciate you all being here. So, Art in the Loop, let me tell you just for a few briefly about Art in the Loop. We are a private nonprofit membership organization that is a partnership with the Downtown Council of Kansas City, which is actually where I work. What we do with Art in the Loop is we have two goals. One is to support local artists by providing you all with commissions and then the opportunity to exhibit your work and create new work and collaborate and all those great things here in downtown Kansas City. And but we're also very interested in the other side of the coin and providing downtown visitors, residents, employees uh, the opportunity to see the creativity that exists in our city or to experience it. The name Art in the Loop is actually from our early mission back in 2004 when we were founded. We focused on creating four permanent art installation sculptures that are located in the very center of downtown inside the highway loop. So we're getting away from that now. Mainly, part of that is because one part of it is because the downtown council actually has a working area of downtown that goes all the way from the river to Crown Center. And then we partner with the streetcar. So we're looking forward to, as they extend, we look forward to extending as well. So with that, let me share a little bit about this year's theme. Every year we try to pick a theme to help kind of inspire the artists and bring a thread that connects everything that we do. And this year's theme is wonder. And what we'd like to do is invite you all to look at the world around you with curiosity, look at your community and how we relate to each other, reflect upon those kind of complexities of connection, discovery, and shared experiences. If you go to the next slide, how do we navigate differences and build meaningful relationships? This, if you can read this while I'm talking, if you like, the really, in a nutshell, we want to know, what do you wonder about, and how do you wonder about the community? There's kind of that aspect of how we're all working together, because we're very interested in, since we're putting this public art in outside in the public realm, like how can we engage people with each other and with your art? And we're also trying to be positive, and we're looking towards the future, and we're wondering where we're going. Yeah, that's, I think, all I can really say about that right now. We wonder where we're going. With that, we'd like to know what you think. What are you wondering about as well? With that, I'm going to turn it over to Nisha, who will run through the call for visual arts.
Hello, everyone. I'm Nisha. I am the visual art director for Art in the Loop, and also I serve on the board for AIGA-KC as the chair of education. So I will go through our visual arts opportunities for this year. We have 4 main categories. First one being the streetcar wrap, second one being the streetcar shelter. We have a mural opportunity, so that includes the streetcar shelter or Oppenstein Park mural, and then we also have the art wall. And then on each slide, you'll kind of see different examples of past projects to kind of give you some inspiration and an idea of what possibilities are capable. And so this one is my piece, Black Boy Joy, from 2023. So main guidelines for the applications, we ask that artists are 18 years of age or older, reside within 50 miles of Kansas City. We encourage you to think about partnering with local nonprofit organizations or businesses to kind of expand the power of your proposal. And then our selection panel will include different artists and members of the community in downtown KC community. Okay, so here's an example of a streetcar wrap. With this, we invite artists to wrap the entire streetcar with your original artwork, and we will select one artist or artist team. So again, this can be like a solo thing, or if it's like you and another artist or group of artists can all collaborate to submit a piece for this. The stipend for this one is $2,500, and Art in the Loop will pay for printing, installation, and removing of the artwork. So this example here with Fred Treese, you can kind of see how we took part of his design on the exterior and included it in the interior of the streetcar as well. So there's some possibility for that too. Another example from 2021, Hector Garcia. Your design can enter into a percentage of the window space using a perforated vinyl material. You can also design on the white areas above and below the windows. And there's also, again, some spaces for interior design available too. The streetcar does have certain like safety kind of parameters around where your design can enter. So if you have any questions about that, you can shoot us an email. But when we're conceptualizing and mocking it up, we'll make sure to fit the artwork within the guidelines of the streetcar itself. Second opportunity is the streetcar shelter. So your artwork will be featured within the frame. Again, we invite artists or artist teams to apply for this one. The stipend is $1,000, and there are 2 options for the streetcar shelter. So there are the larger ones and the smaller ones. So your artwork can fit the entire frame of the streetcar itself, or you can select to kind of do a portion, making an organic shape. We just ask that the design does not encroach into the blue frame. Also be considerate of lighting. Think about how it will look from both sides of the street, whether you're standing on the streetcar side or the sidewalk side. And again, Art in the Loop will pay for printing, installation, and removal. So this is an example from 2023, Caitlin B. Jones. So she submitted a photograph, and so we took cutouts of that photograph and placed it on the streetcar glass just to allow for light to pass through. And again, that's visible from both sides. Another example here, another photograph example, and you can see how the top layer is more opaque than the background layer being the sky. So there's kind of a few different options depending on how we can split up your artwork into different layers too. Another option, this is illustration based. So taking that main illustration as the focal point, but then also leaving space for some lights to pass through. And when you're submitting for the streetcar, or not streetcar, the streetcar shelter, the mock-ups themselves are within the application. So we definitely encourage you to place your artwork on top of that so that you, and as well as the selection panel, can see how it might look in real time too. Another photograph example, this one we split the photograph into different panels and then featured a 6-inch clear border around it. And our next opportunity is the mural. So that one can be on the streetcar shelter itself, or this year we're introducing a mural space in Alpenstein Park, and it's going to be a large shipping container. So we have the dimensions for that listed within the application itself. That'll be on 12th and Walnut. So your paint or whatever 3D materials will be applied directly to the streetcar shelter or the shipping container. Stipend for that is $1,500 for the shelter mural and then $2,500 for the Alpenstein Park mural. Here's an example of what we're kind of looking for with this one is that since it's going to be like a live painting, think about ways that you might engage the community. So for Living Together last year, we had the artists out there painting, but also invited different community members to take part in it. So it became this big collaborative project. So that's a really good opportunity to kind of expand your reach and get some engagement going too. This example is from 2023. Second, Party Balloons. And this one kind of featured some 3D aspects as well, but you can see that they applied the paint on the sidewalk side of the streetcar shelter and then so that it would come through and show on the other side. So when you're submitting for this, you might think about, again, like which side might make the most sense, how the lighting's going to affect it, etc. Another example here. And then this one was really cool. In addition to the paint, we invited community members to come and stick like these 3D acrylic flower shapes onto the streetcar stop. So kind of opened it up for more possibility, and it kind of looked really cool with the lighting, the different like opacities and colors and things too. So. Our last opportunity for visual is the art wall. If you've been downtown, you probably have seen the big mural space on 13th and Grand. So this one is going to be $1,000 stipend. Again, one artist or artist team can apply for this. And we have the dimensions listed there as well. And this one's going to be up for 12 to 18 months, unlike the other ones that are just for the remainder of the year. Here's an example of the current art wall, The Little Princess by Adrian Clayton. And then we have a video. Let's see if it'll, okay. That kind of shows you the scale and magnitude of the art wall. And again, with all of the applications, just kind of think about how you might engage the community or maybe partner with a local business to really magnify your art. Some of the examples in the past have been a yoga event that I had for my streetcar stop. Fred Treese included a playlist for his Disco Cloud streetcar rap. So there was the QR codes inside the streetcar, kind of encouraging people to get interactive with the experience too. So general guidelines, just make sure that your submission responds to the theme. Keep in mind that the artwork outside of the art wall will be semi-permanent, so 3 to 6 months. Make sure that your submission is not polemic or polarizing and appropriate for all ages. Original concept, demonstrate experience of your technique. You'll also include your resume with your submission, so just kind of showing any creative history, work history, any fellowships, awards, or other examples of your creative practice. And then we ask that you submit original artwork, no AI generated artwork, and also refrain from using the name and/or likeness of public figures too. So for your submission, selected artists will provide a descriptive material and photo for the website. We ask that you would promote your piece on your own platform, so social media, website, friends, family. We have the kickoff event happening in June, so that typically includes like all the visual artists. We have some performing artists, refreshments, and just kind of celebrating the start of the season. And then we also have the art walk happening in June, where we all gather and kind of ride the streetcar along to each different artwork and kind of give the artist the chance to explain their vision, inspiration. At the end of the program, artists will submit an impact statement, kind of talking about what the experience meant to them, any opportunities that might have come from submitting and participating. And then we have our closing reception in October. And then this graphic here is kind of an example of what the tags will look like at each of the streetcar stops. So we'll feature QR code that leads to the website and then a little description of the artist and the artwork. And then in exchange, Art in the Loop will provide web presence for each project, PR, marketing, signage, coordination with nearby property owners, curatorial support. We have a catalog we print at the end of the project, and then the removal of all of the artworks. And again, on that removal, Art in the Loop will handle the 2D work, but 3D artists will kind of coordinate with the property owner and Art in the Loop on the logistics of removing that as well. And with that, I will pass it to Jade to talk about performing artist.
Thank you, Nisha. Good evening, everyone. So we also have 4 opportunities for performing artists. We're asking for applications for live and original musicians, theater, dance, or improvisation groups, social practice elements, and that can just be, you know, an outreach or a public art engagement, as well as spoken word or poetry readings. And we have 5 different performance dates slated. The first one being that kickoff ceremony that Nisha has already mentioned. It's going to be on June 5th from 5:30 to 7:30 at the Central Library. We'll also have the closing reception at that same location, October 2nd. Our second performing opportunity is going to be on board the streetcar, and this will be Wednesday the 16th between 6 and 8. And that performance will take place on the streetcar, but we'll be doing 2 loops total per performance. And then we do 816 Day here in Kansas City. I don't know if anyone else is a Kansas City resident, but that's our area code. So we have 816 Day where there's activities and events that happen throughout the city. So we celebrate at the City Market with City Market Sue, one of our dear collaborators. So we'll be there, and it's a Saturday from 6 to 8 p.m. And then our 4th performance is Thursday, September 11th. We'll ignore that date, but it's from 5 to 7:30 p.m. This will be at Oppenstein Park, the same location where the shipping container mural will be happening. So it's kind of an activation of multiple things happening that evening. And then here's some examples of works that are done. It looks like these are solo musicians, but they're not. Some people have, they're full bands in some cases, but in different locations. And we've had this throughout many years, and it's in the Art in the Loop seasons. Y'all, it's been a day. My brain is turning off, so forgive me if I'm getting a little loopy here. So we have a call for the theater, dance, and improvisation groups. Each performance we ask to take place for about 40 minutes to an hour. And then the artist stipend is $750. Some examples in the past have been interactive dance pieces, installative dance pieces. We also had a pop-up party, which I did not take. I don't know where I was in 2018, and I still haven't figured this out. But anyway, it was a party. I missed out. It looks like costumes, puppets, dancing. Be your alter self. Is that what was happening? Yes. And that was Boy and someone, oh my gosh. Boy had a collaborator that maybe we'll remember by the end. Some other examples, we've had puppets on board the streetcar. We've had flamenco dancing both inside as well as outdoors, an aerial performance group at the city market, and then we also had Stone Lion puppets performing outdoors actually that's at one of the streetcar shelters. So there really is, lots of opportunity for what performance or theater can mean. And we love interesting and new works. So if you are a generative performer where you're, tinkering and new things, we love that. And we love to support emerging artists across the board. So the live music, we're asking for original work. And again, it's 40 minutes to 1 hour. $750 artist fee. The equipment for the musician is that you pack it in and you pack it out. This is all of your equipment. We don't provide anything. We don't provide PAs. Sometimes I might have an extension cord in my car, but don't count on that. But being most of the time, musicians know what packing it in really is. All of the locations have access to electricity except for on board the streetcar. If you need an amp, you'd have to bring a battery powered amp on board the streetcar, but it's totally doable. It has happened. And it's exciting to play on board the streetcar as well. The social practice community engagement element. This was something that we really brought back because of our last year's theme, and we're just carrying it over. So even if you're not a social practice artist, your practice may include some aspect of community engagement, and that could even just be with your mural. If you're putting forward as a visual artist, putting forward a mural, just like we saw in some of those photos, if there's an engagement aspect, then that would be also this social practice. So it can be interpersonal, it can be interactive, and generally what we're looking for is engagement with the community, passersby, as well as planned interactions. But we're putting social practice under performance because it is that interaction, but we're looking for 40 minutes to 1 hour of activation. And again, that's a $750 stipend. And lastly, I believe this is poetry and spoken word. Again, 40 minutes to 1 hour. What we are asking this year, and this is similar to all of what we're asking for in applications, is that we don't want you to create original work necessarily for the application, because we don't want you to put things forward that you may not be paid for. We haven't accepted the submission. The panelists haven't reviewed it yet. So with the poetry and spoken word, we would love to see works that you've already created, even if something is similar along the theme. But specifically with this poetry or spoken word, we'll ask for a piece that's written for the theme of wonder, because we'd like to incorporate that into either a streetcar shelter, possibly a window, as an installation this year. So, what you're putting forward in your application is one thing, and then that can also develop based on, when we have artist conversations with you, and when we talk more about where we think the work might live best. This is also a $750 stipend. There we go. Thank you, Nisha. Sorry. Performance venue specs. The Central Library is a very acoustic, it's kind of orchestral. So there are marble floors, very high ceilings. So sound travels really beautifully in there, but that's just something to keep in mind. We do not have access to Marley. So if you are a dancer or have a need for Marley floor, that would be something that would be a challenge, but we may have access to a staging area if that's needed, but we can talk more about that in our artist talks. On board the streetcar, this is the area where it's indoors, but there's no electricity. And then again, this is 2 loops, and that's about an hour. It's kind of hard for us to tell time wise, just because people stop, it's public art. You never really know what you're going to get. You have to interact, but it's 2 loops is about 1 hour of performance. At 816 Day, it's an outdoor venue. It's on concrete. There is electricity available. If there is rain at the city market, we will move underneath the shelters. So we will have a rain location of underneath the shelters instead of out. And actually, last time we were underneath the shelters. So we like it there. And then at Oppenstein Park, 12th and Walnut, it's another outdoor space. There is doggy grass, so I would not recommend utilizing the grass, but just know that it's there. And it's mostly concrete. Electricity is available, and then that will have a rain location that we would decide on as things are moving forward. We don't know. We are always working at Art in the Loop, and things just kind of magically come together in time. Oh, we're going fast. Okay. Criteria and proposal requirements are very similar to what the visual were. We want to make sure that it fits within the parameters of the performance length of that 40 minutes to 1 hour. We would love to we would love the performances to respond to the theme of wonder. And it's really about that audio capability, that electrical issue. So we just want to make sure that if you need electrical, that if you're wanting to play on board the streetcar, that we get a battery powered amp for you. And again, very similar here, we provide the web presence, social media signage. One of the coolest things is that you'll get a do I have one? Does anybody have one of those catalogs? Anyway, the catalog goes through the whole project, and that's a really extra bonus just to have for yeah, there we go. That's the one from last year. So everybody gets a feature in that. And artists will provide, sorry, I'm getting so many dings here. The artists you all will provide materials and photos. PR will connect you with our socials. We do ask that you have kickoff attendance as well as a closing reception attendance. And again, we talked about that audio equipment issue with the electricity. Guidelines, we love partnerships. If you're eligible, that means that you are at least 18 years of age. Now, you can have a group of people who are under 18, but the main artist needs to be 18. Xandra, I did notice that you said you were from Topeka, and we're just going to say that that's around the 50-mile mark. It's okay. I'm not taking a measurement. I don't have time for that. And then, and hi, Xandra, by the way, I know you, we were just in a room together. And then we have a selection panel who's going to be reviewing all of the applications. And we ask the selection panel to be as generous as possible. But when you're filling out an application, if you can be as clear as possible at giving your vision of what you're wanting to do, that will help the panelists to really understand not only the work that you've created thus far, but really what you're trying to accomplish with doing either a performance or a visual piece for Art in the Loop this year. And then here's just our overall project schedule. So the applications close February 17th. We're going to have the selection panel meetings happening in March. And then by April, we're going to notify artists, both those who are awarded and those who were not. So don't worry, you'll be contacted one way or the other. Contracts will also be signed in April. And then here's the thing to keep in mind is that in April, we will be having artist meetings. And maybe Nisha or Anne, you'll speak more about the visual artist meetings. But this is really just to get a feel for how do we turn what the proposal that was, or the application, how do we turn that into reality? So this is just a planning meeting with the Art in the Loop staff or team and you to really bring your vision to life. In May, we're going to be installing the visual artworks. So if you are doing one of the mural projects, our goal would be to have the mural created early on in the season, so May or June, so that it can be enjoyed by audiences throughout the season. Our kickoff event is scheduled for June 5th. The Art Walk and Art Ride is June 25th. The performance on board the Casey Streetcar, July 16th. 816 Day is on August 16th. Oppenstein Park performances happen September 11th. Our closing reception will be October 2nd. And then here's a little asterisk here about the removing of visual artworks. Like, Anne, was it you had mentioned that there's still a piece up? Well, there's still some pieces, there's 4 still up from last year. So even though we're saying these are temporary pieces, they may go a little longer because the streetcar hasn't sold that particular spot for another what's the word, somebody else to advertise on. So we want to keep work up. So anyway, that's just something, and you all can speak more about it because that's visual and I'm performing. Ooh, how do we apply? So has everybody been to the website? Okay, so first homepage, you can click on the calls from the homepage. You can also go straight to the application form on the homepage. If you are both performing and a visual artist, you're welcome to submit for both performance and visual artists. You can submit multiple applications. If you are a visual artist, here I go, I'm talking about visual again. And you have an idea that you'd like to put forward for multiple. So say you have a visual that you'd like to maybe see as a streetcar wrap, but you could also see it as a mural, and you could also see it on the streetcar stop. There is a way that you can choose in your application that you could pick. You'd like it to be considered for all of those opportunities. Does that make sense for everybody? I did it again. I just love it that the visual, I love the visual stuff too. So I'll keep going. Sorry, Nisha.
Also, I'm not sure if we already touched on it too. If your idea for visual isn't fully fleshed out, you're welcome to submit sketches, any like mock-ups, but just be sure in your, the written portion of your application to like describe that concept as in-depth as possible, and help our selection panel visualize and see how it might fit within the theme.
So here's how to find us. But you can find all this on the Art in the Loop website as well. But we have all the socials. And oh, there was something else. Oh, well, it'll come up. Questions? Preguntas. Here we are.